About Poly Speaks For You, the life of the creator of this awesome software. Poly Speaks For You was created and developed by the South African dyslexic polymath Timothy Wood. Timothy has fought a lifelong battle against discrimination against dyslexics. Timothy was diagnosed in 1971 at the age of 7 with dyslexia, and organic personality disorder. Thus, whilst attending public school, he was bullied because of his dyslexia, and when being placed in the public school for persons with disabilities, he underwent further bullying throughout his years there, which lasted from January 1972 till August 1979. After leaving school, he was lucky enough to get a job in a security company control room, where when it was found out that he had dyslexia, the cycle of discrimination and abuse began. He served his compulsory 2 years in the South African Medical Corps, one of the few places where discrimination against dyslexia was not found. When he left the army in 1983, there were no real job prospects for him, as he did not have the necessary qualifications to get a job that would suit his temperament or hide his disability. This is where he got creative. Many years later, someone ignorant of the fact that he was a dyslexic said in a very public forum that dyslexics are very devious. Timothy took this person to task and advised her that unlike so-called normal people, dyslexics face a greater challenge getting a job or a career, that they have no other option than to get creative. Thus Timothy throughout his life has created through his other abilities opportunities to be gainfully employed. He worked for the most part in the security industry in South Africa, and then later in the hospitality industry. One of the abilities that dyslexics have is a very good ear. Most people, unless professionally trained, do not listen very well. Dyslexics, because of their condition, do tend to listen very carefully with an exceptional ear for detail and learn to use their speaking skills to get ahead. Since 2003, Timothy was employed in the hospitality trade, slowly working his way through the levels, learning new skills, all the while the discrimination, and light-hearted and not so light-hearted verbal abuse because of his disability being part of his life. For many years, bosses would stand over him shouting out the letters of the misspelt word. According to Timothy, they could have been speaking Mandarin for all I knew. I never understood a letter of what they were trying to spell. During the lockdown of 2020, Timothy lost the love of his life, Winnie, who died tragically young of leukemia. It was around that time that Timothy began to think of ways to improve his professional abilities. One of these ways is Poly Speaks For You. You see, Timothy realized that he could not be the only one who was battling with dyslexia like he was. Thus he taught himself to write code and created the central core of Poly Speaks For You, at that time only the spelling function and voice reader. However, the demand to improve became an overwhelming passion, and he began to develop Poly Speaks For You into the awesome program it is today.